Today we are learning how narcissistic abuse can impact relationships and our ability to recognize true love. So if you have ever wondered how abuse might influence the perception of love and relationship dynamics, you will probably find this video interesting. Before we get into it, let me introduce myself. I'm Jen Hachia, and on this channel, we explore the complexities of psychology and manipulation in both relationships and professional settings, and then we discuss it in the comments below. So if that feels interesting to you, you are welcome to subscribe, and if you're already a regular watcher, hello there! Now let's dive in. So when someone grows up in an environment marked by abuse, or even just witnesses it as a third party, their understanding of love can become deeply distorted. For many, the concept of genuine love and long-lasting relationships is elusive, and distinguishing between authentic and toxic relationships becomes challenging. So it's important to recognize that what is often labeled as toxic love is really a synonym for abusive relationship. Research shows that individuals exposed to abuse or unhealthy relationships during their upbringing are more likely to struggle with recognizing healthy relationship dynamics. For instance, Tacher and Sampson discuss how childhood maltreatment and negligence in childhood can lead to distinct psychological and neurobiological subtypes, influencing how individuals later experience and interpret relationships. When abuse is normalized from a young age, individuals might internalize this as the standard for love and relationship dynamics. The romanticization of emotional and mental distress in relationships, especially romantic relationships, often blurs the line between what is healthy and what is abusive. Some may even believe that experiencing these very intense ups and downs is a normal and even desirable aspect of love because it signifies intensity, and intensity can only signify deep passion. And this belief is reinforced by the fact that the highs following the lows in a toxic relationship can feel extraordinarily euphoric, overshadowing the very traumatic lows. A key point to understand is that toxic love isn't an idealized or romantic experience, contrary to what we grew up seeing in the media. Instead, we have to realize and learn that it's a pattern of behavior that prioritizes unhealthy dynamics over the essential components of a healthy relationship that involves respect, trust, and genuine affection and acceptance. Van der Kolk et al. Emphasize that complex trauma can severely impact one's ability to form and maintain healthy relationships due to the persistent stress responses and maladaptive coping mechanisms developed from early abuse. When abuse is the norm, people might unconsciously seek out relationships that mirror the dysfunctional patterns that they are used to or that they got used to witnessing or experiencing when they were a child. This becomes even more complicated when societal narratives and romantic stories often glamorize and normalize toxic behaviors. There are many studies that highlight that attachment styles formed in childhood significantly influence adult relationship patterns. So if a person's early attachment experiences were characterized by instability, insecurity, abuse, name-calling, they might struggle with understanding and establishing healthy relational boundaries, and sometimes might even perpetuate this kind of abuse. For many people in the world, the idea of unconditional love can feel extremely foreign or even threatening. For example, I personally struggled with the idea of unconditional love well into my 30s. I believed that love was transactional and needed to be earned to be received. And this is a pattern that we see in so many people, and that I see in so many people in all stages of life, really. This belief often stems from low self-esteem and unrealistic expectations that others put onto us. So if you believe that you must work tirelessly to earn love, you might find yourself in this perpetual cycle of seeking validation and approval, and often from people who may not reciprocate genuinely at all. So the dynamics of unconditional love versus conditional love play a crucial role here, because there is so much going on psychologically that can actually make us addicted to conditional love and completely averse to unconditional love. So unconditional love involves giving without expecting anything in return, and often requires setting personal boundaries to avoid being exploited by someone else. Conversely, toxic relationships often involve offering conditional love while expecting something in return, even if what you are expecting is to be loved in return, which just perpetuates this cycle of manipulation that sometimes isn't even done consciously. And this can essentially leave individuals vulnerable to emotional or even physical abuse. Research by Rusbold provides insight into why individuals might stay in unhealthy relationships. In fact, there are a lot of people that have not ever been in abusive relationships that don't understand why, if somebody isn't happy or being abused, why don't they just leave the relationship? Well, this can be explained by Rusbold's investment model. So it suggests that the more a person invests in a relationship, the harder it is to leave, even when the satisfaction is low. This is a psychological phenomenon that basically explains that when you put your time and your emotions and sometimes even your money into something, you have an attachment to it, even if that something didn't really provide any value to you. From the moment that you invest yourself, there is already an emotional investment and therefore an attachment that is often toxic and codependent. So this is what leads individuals to endure toxic behaviors simply because they feel like they invested too much to be able to walk away. And this kind of psychological phenomenon is exactly what happens with gambling, where the more money you put in, the more you lose, the more you want to put in. And this cycle just continues and leads to addiction and self-harm. So recognizing and addressing this investment trap is vital to break free from abusive patterns in your life. And understanding what constitutes a healthy relationship involves being, number one, aware of the red flags, and number two, setting realistic expectations for yourself and for others. Effective communication, trust, and respect are foundational elements that should never be compromised. It's essential to remember that abuse is never justified, and setting that boundary right from the start is essential. If someone consistently oversteps your boundaries or fails to acknowledge their own mistakes, it's a clear sign that this relationship may be harmful. So to address these issues, as I often say in my videos and in my podcast, awareness is key. Learning to identify and avoid the red flags, setting boundaries, and treating yourself with the same compassion and care that you offer others are the three most important steps. It's also important to recognize that other people's attitudes towards you often reflect their own issues, not your worth. So if somebody didn't love you back, it doesn't mean that you are unlovable. It just means that they cannot love you back. And that is just the course of life. As you develop self-awareness, you will be better equipped to navigate relationships and protect yourself from unhealthy dynamics. So if you find yourself repeatedly attracting toxic individuals or repeatedly attracted to people that are hard to get or avoidant, this might indicate that you need to reassess your understanding of love and relationships. Sometimes what it takes is experiencing multiple unhealthy relationships to realize that the problem isn't you, but the patterns that you are repeating. Psychology often highlights how individuals can downplay their experiences, especially when comparing them to more extreme cases of abuse. But you have to remember, abuse is abuse. It doesn't matter if it happens a lot or only sometimes. It's still abuse. It's still unacceptable. So you need to understand that your experiences are valid in these scenarios and that they deserve attention for healing and growth. So to conclude this, the journey to understanding and experiencing healthy love involves recognizing and challenging toxic patterns that you might have unconsciously adapted in your life, setting clear boundaries, and developing a strong sense of self-worth. I do already have podcast episodes that share my personal experience with an abusive relationship that lasted 7 years. So if you are interested in hearing more about that and about the story, it will offer deeper insights into how toxic relationships begin, develop, and what you can look out for in your own experiences as well. Thank you for watching. I hope that you found this video helpful. If you did, don't forget to leave a like. If you want to see more of this content, don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notifications so you can be notified when the posts are up. And stay updated on future content. And I will see you on the next one. Bye.